What's going on, guys? So welcome back. I haven't made a video in a long time. I'm doing something that no other military YouTuber has done before. We're reacting to Royal Navy basic training. Stay tuned for this one. Alright, before we begin, Royal Navy basic training is done at HMS Raleigh. This is where this documentary is filmed, and yes, it is a documentary. Yes, Mr. YouTube monetization man, don't copyright strike me, alright? Don't demonetize me. This is a reaction video, and all of the opinions given in this video are my own, so please don't copyright strike me. I'm behaving in YouTube law land.
Left, right, left. Left, right, left. Squad!
It's
Get your
nightmares.
yourself in the right place, Johnson!
It's not rocket science, it's just walking! I'm asking you to do disco moves!
Every week.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Royal Navy drill is that different to Army or Air Force drill. I think it's pretty much the same. And I'm going to be nice. Royal Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, whatever you join, you will have to learn drill at some point, which means at some point you will look like a Hmong, just like these guys.
60 wannabe sailors join up to the Royal Navy.
I always wanted to be a pirate.
Weird stuff always happens.
Can't beat them. Join them.
Like when you're left alone in the block and the pressure's off, you kind of let your inner stupid come out. So a lot of stupid shit does go on in the rooms.
Switch your heads on, you mutants.
You mutants.
What are you all doing? Not river dance? Just across, you freak!
But before they set foot aboard a ship, they must make it through HMS Raleigh.
You start as a potato. In week 10, we want a packet of crisps.
Men and women trained.
Right, so before this video, the last video I pushed out was about the paras. I'm going to go back to that. It's getting a little bit of traction, so I'm letting people watch that first. Anyway, it's funny how they want a potato into crisps, but the army wants boys into men, or like the Marines want killers. You know, just culture difference.
Side by side.
That looks scary.
Some
Stop
straight
that.
from school.
Can I let this on?
Some
Can I leave
starting
this?
over.
Don't demonetize me.
Guided by serving officers in the fleet.
Shit beard, Henderson.
Oh yeah. Are you allowed a beard in basic training for the Royal Navy? Is that allowed? I don't think it would be. I couldn't imagine it being allowed. If you have to have all your hair shaved off to prevent nits and create uniformity, surely you wouldn't be allowed a beard too.
Tough on rules and discipline.
This is the Royal Navy, not the Royal Mail. Get up!
Oh my god.
Your ass because I'm the master.
This is absolutely pathetic.
If you don't measure up, you're out.
Ooh.
Recruit discharged from the Royal Navy.
What's that?
Right, you could tell from that bloke. Right, let me go back here. Right. He's one of them guys, right? Hand down the front of his belt buckle, like a chav, down the front of his jogging bottoms, touching his pubes, whilst he walks along the high street in front of little kids. You could easily identify him in a group such as this, of the people that aren't going to stay, or aren't going to last, or aren't the right people. I don't know what's going on with her.
But for those who make it, a life at sea awaits.
Oh man, I'd love to be surrounded by seamen. You said it.
This is going to be the proudest moment of your lives.
No matter what service it is, a proud
If you
moment.
can't cut could go and join a circus. Do you understand that?
We have a very different attitude and a different vibe, I think, to how Army, Royal Marines, so on train.
This is HMS Raleigh.
I hope you don't get claustrophobic. I hope you don't get aquaphobic.
Today, a new class is arriving. Men and women all hoping to graduate from the 10-week initial training course at the Royal Navy's Sailor School.
I mean, I'm just going to be in a long metal container full of semen.
It's long, hard, and for the seamen.
At least they
Young
got a sense
man,
of humour.
congratulations. You are going to do press-ups. Assume the position.
The man in charge of overseeing the new recruits' arrival is Ian Gritt.
10 of your best.
HMS Raleigh's Master-at-Arms, the officer in charge of their discipline.
Thou
What rank is a Master-at-Arms equivalent? Master-at-Arms rank equivalent is a senior rate. Oh, he's basically the RSM. He's a regimental sergeant major.
shall not cross the quadrangle.
Fair enough.
Negative
All right.
headgear.
They need some respect.
The standards are absolute and they have to be to maintain the core values of the Royal Navy. You build reputations on years, and we've been around for a long time, and we're still considered the best.
Yeah, we have got a very good navy. I'm not going to take
These young recruits today that are joining the Royal Navy, they're going to be deployed in a variety of roles. They're not just going to be on the front line fighting wars, they're going to be...
Not going to make a joke. I'll let the comments section do that for me.
dealing with humanitarian aid, fighting piracy,
fair enough.
counter drug smuggling. But before they do that, first thing they've got to do is get past HMS Raleigh.
Do not block the doorways, but spread out in the corridor.
What you've got to remember is there are a lot of kids coming through them gates from school. It's a completely new environment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HMS Raleigh. I will shortly invite you to go into your bags, where you will remove Granny's special cake, Mum's special sarnies. Make sure you have no pornographic material. That includes inflatable dolls.
That is
Any such
absolutely
material,
true. We had to
you
do
will
the same
remove
thing.
it. Any questions?
Sometimes I look around a class when they actually arrive. Day one, the classic shock of capture. Some of them look absolutely petrified.
You will see my bin here. It said food waste.
Kind of thought like my heart had been ripped out and all my angel slices had been thrown in the bin.
Make sure your mobiles are switched off.
You sort of want to cry because I've never really been in this sort of situation before. Being dragged away from my family like that when I spent every single day with.
Well, hold on, big lad. Right. Being dragged away from my family like that. You fucking signed up.
Them like.
Just get your gear together, zip your bags up, and wait to follow me into the classroom.
You're talking about people coming off the streets here that have come from all walks of life. You've got people from flipping burgers to pushing trolleys around car parks. But once they get...
Just a quick interruption. If we get 10 likes on this video, I'll do a part 2, okay? I'm not going to do the whole one here, but 10 likes.
Through the doors, everyone's exactly the same. It's a disciplined service and you're expected to be able to play the same game as everybody else.
For some of these recruits, the Navy offers them their best opportunity to forge a career.
When we went to the careers office, my dad said, just look out the window. And he said, what can you see? And they kind of said, well, nothing. He said, what's going on? They said, nothing. He said, exactly.
I always wanted to be a pirate, but there weren't no jobs going in the local paper.
I don't know if it's his accent. I always wanted to be a pirate. I can't take him seriously. He's fucking old.
So, yeah, so I thought if you can't beat them, join them.
Right, that's the typical shit that the RAF Reg would say. You know, like, always wanted to be a soldier, so I joined the RAF Reg. Ooh.
There are 23 teenagers in this class, but the Navy accepts recruits up to the age of 37.
God. Well, it's a
28
different way
years
of
old,
life.
not daft. I don't laugh at farts. Got my priorities organised a bit better than I think some of the lads have here.
One of Stuart's fellow older recruits is former lorry driver, 32-year-old Craig Rowan.
This is the most important 10 weeks of my life, apart from my kids being born, obviously. My plan is to go as far as I possibly can in the Royal Navy.
Boom. Right, let's do it. Let's have it. Welcome to HMS Raleigh Initial Naval Training. You will see now that you are Young man, do your tie up. You look like you just fell out of a nightclub. Yep. You got a button on the top, therefore secure it. And gentlemen, it will be £6 for the privilege of losing your hair. Ladies, if you wish to be the next G.I. Jane, I have no problem, but I'm sure you don't.
Before the Master-at-Arms hands over the new recruits to their training team, they must pledge their allegiance to the Queen and sign a contract.
Since the last video, we have sadly lost the Queen, so now it would be the King.
Back to serve a minimum of 4 weeks.
You are not joining the biggest navy in the world, but I guarantee you are joining the best. It is a beautiful day, ladies and gents, one you will remember forever.
I, Sophie Hutchin, do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Create and successors.
It's not a foregone conclusion by joining the Royal Navy that you're going to be successful, because you have to meet the standards that we set before.
And will observe and obey all orders.
I always say, you give 100%, you will succeed, and you earn the right to flip your cap off your head in week 10.
An officer set over me.
Yeah, 10 weeks is pretty short.
So help me God.
Congratulations, welcome to the Royal Navy. Well done you, all right? Good.
Welcome, young man, to the Royal Navy. My daughter...
Oh, this is weird. Why are they smiling and shaking hands?
Always open. If you need extra help or anything else like that, you need to ask.
I've got a few questions if you don't mind. Family's a bit... I've always had a bit of a tough childhood, and family at the minute is quite disjointed. I mean, my mum and my dad aren't together. I know that I'm in particular going to be a bit of a weak one on homesickness. Yeah, I understand that.
Since his parents' divorce, 18-year-old Hugh Harland has lived
enough.
with his dad.
At least he's got the balls
Harland's
to say
training is happening at a time when his father is away working in the US.
It's especially bad for me because my dad goes back to America next week. He runs a business there. And that's going to be really tough for me. So I'm going to try and sort something out so that I can contact him, because I know that training will become more difficult if I can't speak to my dad.
We all get homesickness. There are times when he is in America.
It's an important thing to note if you are young and you're joining the military. If you're watching this video, you've probably got an interest in the Royal Navy. Either you're an old salty veteran like myself, or you're someone joining up. It is something to consider. And if you're not ready for it, it is a culture shock. And an eye-opener, really, that, you know, you're getting shouted at by big full-grown men and women, and you're surrounded by people that you don't know, of different ages and ethnic backgrounds and whatever else. So it is something to consider. And this poor guy, at least he stood up and said, you know, oh, this is something I need to think about or make you aware of.
And you need to speak to him. Okay, come and see me and we'll sort something out, all right?
Cheers, thank you. I'm hoping that 10 weeks training kind of matures me a little bit, but also that I learn a little bit how to become self-dependent, because I've always relied on my dad.
Independent.
Hugh's mum and I separated when he was young. Obviously that's always tough. He's carried that a lot. And joining the Navy hopefully will bring him onto his own feet and let him find his own wings and make a man out of him.
Having signed their contracts, the recruits will not see their family for 10 weeks, and phone use is strictly controlled. They will live
Today
in
is the start of the rest of your lives. You're required to grasp this opportunity with both hands. If you're prepared to work hard as a team, and give nothing less than 100%, you will achieve all that you can. Be confident, as confidence breeds success.
Single-sex dormitory.
What a difference in mentality. Like, the army would be like, do it, otherwise you're getting fucking punished. Now, lads, like, stand up in a line and tell me the first person to get to that tree in the fucking yonder. 1 sec. God, Mrs. asking me for fucking HelloFresh. I'm making a video at the moment, Dov. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, HelloFresh code. Carry on. Sorry.
For the duration of their training.
Some of these young recruits have been spoon-fed for most of their lives until they reach this stage, and they rock up here with little.
But here's the other thing: is like you get people that like me. I hated being at home. I wanted to leave as soon as I could. So I left. Went from the institutionalization of being at school straight to the military, and I found that structure is what I needed to carry me on. Other people hate it. They hate being told what to do. They hate being pushed around and whatever else. If you can just do as you're told, perfect for you.
Experience of being able to organise their life, and that's a steep learning curve for a lot of these recruits.
And you guys feeling nervous about it?
Yeah, I am now.
You'll be alright, mate, honestly.
You know, it's a bit like a puppy, isn't it? It's a blank sheet of paper, and you train it to do exactly what you want to do. Everything's geared towards moulding somebody into this machine that's self-disciplined,
I think what's happening here is recruits that have already been there a little while have come, and that's this one on the right, over to teach them how to iron their uniform and stuff like that.
motivated and very well organised. It all engages and links into a ship. Nice ironing, nice firing.
Fair point.
That's just handsome.
Oh, beautiful.
Now that the Master at Arms has completed their induction, the recruits are handed over for training to their instructors, all serving officers from the fleet.
What time does a hairdresser knock off? I think.
See, that's a different thing as well, is they're all trained by officers. And maybe that's the difference in attitude, as opposed to being trained by corporals and lance corporals and sergeants, whatever. They're getting trained by actual officers, so...
Why are you asking me?
It looks like a baked bean with a face in it.
What time's the hairdresser on? Is it forward now?
Warrant Officer John Collingbourne is the man in charge of training the newest intake.
Okay, sit at ease, please.
Oh, the attitude, the difference in attitude is fucking...
First time I see them, I wouldn't say they're absolutely crapping themselves, but I think they're very apprehensive.
You seem like a nice man, Mr. Collingbourne.
This is not school anymore, this is the armed forces. They are here to defend the country. Ultimately, they could be on a ship, they go to war. This is serious.
What I do is I oversee all your training while you're here in HMS Raleigh. It's a big commitment.
I've read his head
for us.
Not him.
We need that commitment back
Look
from
how
you.
bright red he is.
But you need to be at the right standard. And that takes you to give 100%. We're always looking at you, 24/7.
He's had a rough life, hasn't he, that man?
Okay, so this is probably the longest job interview you will ever do. Everybody happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go.
To stand any chance of surviving the 10 weeks, the new recruits must quickly learn how to work as a unit.
The Navy's a huge team from the first Sea Lord down to the very person we pass out on week 10. On board a ship, that team's got to function well, and if it doesn't, that's when people's lives are at risk.
And at that, we're going to leave it. That's going to be the end of part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. 10 likes, all right? 10 likes, and we'll do a part 2, okay? Help me out. See you boys in the next one.